YouTube camera going as well. We got our Facebook camera going as well. And now we got our radio station hookup. So
the opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Real Estate Show, brought to you by Capital One Group, LLC. Eric Woolman, president of Capital One Group, LLC, is a highly trained financial professional. He helps clients to develop strategies for effectively utilizing real estate, mortgages, and related financial products to achieve a more secure financial future. For the real estate investor or the home buyer, he's able to...
Greetings, everybody.
Right properties.
Here we are. Can you believe it already? We are halfway through the week. Guess what day it is? Mike. So, and hello South Florida, welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show all about the topic of real estate. My name is Eric Willner and I am your host here on the Real Estate Show. Founded this show 21 years ago, bringing you information, and it's kind of neat. Today I was fortunate to be interviewed on a podcast. Those of you familiar with the Grind Life, it's GRYNDLYFE. And it's kind of neat. Obviously, they spell Grind Life a little bit differently. And he said he decided to switch the I for the Y because having a why was the important reason. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter when you have a why. And so that was kind of a fun experience today. Spent some time on site on properties today. And of course, realizing that today is the middle of the week, our Wednesday midweek report is due and coming right up. First of all, I want to inform those of you listening to us here on the airwaves. You might be listening to us on the AM 1470 station, our original station where we started this whole program years and years ago. You might be listening to us on one of our 3 FM stations, whether it be 95.3 on one end of the dial, 103.9 on the other end of the dial, or right down the middle at 96.9. 3 FM stations, 1 AM station. We stream it live also on the iHeartRadio network. So all you have to do is go to iHeartRadio, download the free app, and then search for WWNN Money Talk Radio. All of those that we've talked about start at 8 p.m. Eastern. Eastern time is when you got to be here. Now, if you happen to miss one of our shows, we do post a recording of our show up on our website at automaticlandlord.com. Easy to remember, it's the automaticlandlord.com. And you can go there and listen to our show live. We stream it there as well at 8 p.m. Eastern. Or we also have a list, and if you go down the sequence, it's in reverse chronological order, the most recent one at the top and then going backwards. You can check that out again. All you have to do is go to automaticlandlord.com. And believe it or not, we have another copy of this all done on our Facebook page. And many of you may be watching us right now on our Facebook page. All you have to do is go to facebook.com, search for The Real Estate Show. If you don't have a Facebook page, no worries. Facebook.com/The Real Estate Show. And you'll find us there. So we got a great show for you today. In fact, I wanted to touch on 2 very interesting articles. In fact, I had a lot to choose from. And as this week, we started out talking about ascending the ladder, right? We talked about a concept that I use here in order to sort of identify where people are in their real estate life, right? It is a matter of understanding where you are. Now, if you're not interested in real estate, I'm probably not talking to you. You're probably not listening to this radio show. But if you are interested, that's stage one. Step one is to be interested. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are interested in real estate. In fact, I will safely say that the majority of people out there believe, really sincerely, that real estate is a great investment. What's interesting, and approximately 2/3, anywhere between 66 and 70% of Americans have owner-occupied properties, and about 1/3 are renters and occupy rental properties. Interesting. You might not have thought that it was that big of a number, but I've got numbers all over the country, as well as the consolidated numbers nationwide, that say that that is the case. Now, I also like to say that everybody is really in real estate, whether you like it or not. You're either in real estate, where you're one of those 2/3 owners, or you're on real estate, in which case you pay rent to those 2/3 of the owners out there. It's an interesting conversation, that all by itself. But anyway, that puts us where we're at stage one on the ladder. You're interested in real estate, but maybe you're not qualified, or you think you're not qualified. And I love to have that conversation, because invariably a lot of people are surprised to find out that they're a lot farther towards being qualified to own real estate than they even think they are. So step two on the ladder is you're ready, but you are not qualified. I'm sorry, stage one was you're not qualified. And stage two is that you're not sure if you're qualified and you need a little help, maybe a little nudge, a little push, maybe just some clarification to find out that maybe you are ready, more ready than you think. And that's a whole interesting conversation. And on Monday, when I was introducing the conversation about the ladder, I was also telling you a lot about the best way to start out on this journey is simply to schedule a complimentary strategy session. Now, this is a no cost, and you can go to either our Facebook page or to our website, automaticlandlord.com. In the top right, you'll see it says book appointment now, and you'll see it's free, it's complimentary, there's no credit card numbers. You can talk on a one-on-one serious, this is a serious strategy session to find out where you really are on the ladder. As I look over on the ladder that we demonstrated on Monday, it's stage three is you're ready, just you don't have the cash. Maybe you have the credit. You probably have the credit in stage three. Stage four, you have the cash but don't have the credit. And it's important to understand which one of those steps you're on. I can help you in either case. Whether you're missing the cash, whether you're missing the credit, we can help you out. So anyway, I'm going to come back to that whole conversation because I really want to get into our midweek report. Now, the reason I say that is the same way that I want to help you to ascend the ladder, growing your wealth in real estate. I'm going to tell you that for all of the folks out there that have been betting against the economy, I think they're finding out very interestingly. Remember, I said I'm not here to predict the future. I'll tell you that there's certain junctures in the road that if it goes this way, it could go south. If it goes this way, it could go north. And so far, every time that we've come to that juncture in the road, I've reported to you the information, but the information, even when it was bad, the economy that we had before the whole COVID, before the protests, before everything else, the unemployment figures, etc., was so strong that you're seeing that the built-up energy in that economy is still going strong. So, a couple of interesting headlines. Housing starts, that's physical, shovel in the ground, rose 4.3% in May, which was a disappointment. A disappointment because they had originally, pre-COVID, expected a 22.3 increase, but it was only a 4.3% increase in housing starts. What that tells me, though, is that there's still a backlog. There's definitely a demand trail there, and there's definitely going to be more housing starts coming. So again, for all the doom and gloom people, rather than predict the future, follow the numbers, follow the money, because you're going to be a lot happier going forward. Home purchase applications spiked to an 11 year high. We're not talking about pre-COVID. We're talking about 11-year high. And that's just a couple of the headlines. Home buyer mortgage demand is up. The U.S. economy, another economist saying U.S. economy bouncing back quite sharply. We saw that Morgan Stanley came out with a prediction that we were going to have a V recovery. That means it went sharply down and it's going to go sharply up. So those people who are betting on calamity and catastrophe, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I'm just saying that if you're betting on that, even a stopped watch is right twice a day. And so you can say that, the arrows are all pointing down, or arrows are all pointing down, and the watch will be at that place at some point. But I'm telling you that if you're looking to take advantage of the marketplace right now, if you're looking to plant your flag in real estate, the time to get started is right now. So another interesting article that I wanted to spend a little bit of time on, and I'm going to go into, in addition to the housing starts, is let's talk about the confidence, because the housing starts are the shovels that stuck in the ground in May. Let's talk about the confidence, about how many shovels are going to stick in the ground coming forward. And home builder confidence spike points to housing leading the economic recovery. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's show. So we started off the week talking about ascending the ladder. Now I'm going to talk to you about the ascending economy, and you want to catch a ride on it. You're not going to change it. You can only help it, and you better be part of it if you want to benefit from it. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Here are a few words from our sponsors, so don't touch that dial. You're listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Wilner, and I'll be right back. So let's come back over here. So Cindy, hey, how are you? Erica, how are you? And let's see here. So those of you who are wondering, where was I yesterday? We were live on the air. We had a really interesting interview, part of our spotlight. But because we had such a hard time last time getting the sound from the radio from an outside source, because here you're getting the original feed from my voice into the Facebook, but we still have to get the right software in order to merge the sound from the radio feed with the Facebook feed and a third-party feed, and so we're working on that. We got a couple of suggestions, and but in any case, if you go to automaticlandlord.com, you can click and listen to yesterday's interview. It's up there, and the write-up is going to be following pretty soon. It's been such a crazy day. Michael, how are you doing? San Francisco is in the house. So we got a Texas listener, a Florida listener, a California listener, and all points in between. So the interesting conversation about was about cement, and you might think that cement is not that interesting of a conversation, but when you talk to a company called Concrete Craft, that they can make your cement look like natural wood. They can make your cement look like natural stone. And they were doing a study, and it increases the value of your property. Now you can do this on pool decks, driveways, porches, all surfaces outside, horizontal as well as vertical. And they have some proprietary methods. It's really cool. But you can also, it also works indoors. So those of you who are thinking of, how do I have a more durable floor that I don't have to keep changing with my tenants? You can't ruin it. It's you can't ruin it with water, whether it be flooding from above or flooding from below. Cement, it can take it. Or you want a shiny floor that looks like you can eat off of it. So it's an interesting interview, bottom line, and that was kind of fun. And that was yesterday, and that's why we didn't have a Facebook Live video. And tomorrow night, we're working on that to fix that one, because I got a really interesting guy. If you're looking at a way to create some additional income and still be in the real estate vertical, then tomorrow night's interview is going to be really interesting. So the music's coming back in. Eliana from Brazil. Now we've gone across the border, across the pond. And hello, South Florida. Welcome back. You're listening to The Real Estate Show. If you're just joining us, you're listening to America's longest running daily radio show. You're listening to the #1 show here in our area on 1 AM station, 4 FM stations, available to you on iHeartRadio. And every day we've been also putting it on our Facebook Live. So if you like to put a face with the name and the voice, join us on facebook.com/The Real Estate Show. And you can participate. The other nice thing is that I watch the questions coming up as we speak here on our program that's video live. So I covered a handful of headlines. All of them, if you ask my opinion, very promising. And the outlook, in my opinion, for real estate over the next several months is going really well. In fact, another one of my friends, an educator, a national speaker, was talking about flattening the coming foreclosure curve. Now, let's think about this logically, especially in light of the fact that it's very hard with, you see headlines that say one thing, and then on the other side you see the same, in the same time frame, a headline saying almost the exact opposite. I've heard things from, the second wave of the COVID is starting to there will be no second wave of the COVID. We see that there, with the opening naturally, we're going to have some spikes in the numbers. But now that people are more educated about how to behave, hopefully they respect and honor some of those good practices. But we're going to also experience, the more contact, the more activity, it's inevitable that you're going to have a number of things. You're going to have more COVID infections. Yes, unfortunately, we may have some more COVID deaths. But the number of infections that recover, that number has been going up steadily. So I'm optimistic about that. We've seen all the economic numbers. The stock market seems to be shrugging off every bit of the information about the unemployment. And in fact, their belief, what they're showing you, because remember, the stock market is a reflection of expectations. They're looking out into the future, and they believe that the stock market is telling us that the economy is going to become better than it is now in the middle of this slowdown, stop, whatever you want to call it. So that's good. And then what you have to start looking, more than the headlines in a lot of these places, start looking at the numbers. We're looking at the number of listings. We're looking at the number of properties on the market. We look at the things like the days on the market. And was very interesting, like I said before, the home starts actually grew during the month of May, right in the face of the whole COVID lockdown. April and May, lockdown. Now June, we're starting to open up, and what we're seeing is that home builder confidence is on the rise. Now, home builders, you have to understand, are typically very cautious, because when a home builder thinks he wants to build, he's looking out a year or two. Why? He's got to go out and find the land. He's got to then apply for the permits. In fact, before he even applies, he has to apply for the permits for the land use. He's got to do site plans. He's got to do the building design, and then he's got to go get the permits for that. That process can go anywhere from 6 to 8 to a year or longer. So when they're talking about building a property and then delivering it to the market, it may be 2 years down the road. So for them to start digging, putting a shovel in the ground, those people started a while back. But an interesting thing here, and I want to go in, this is from the Mortgage Professionals of America. It is a more builder, real estate professional, not realtor, but in the professional market. And a recent analysis from Harvard University's Joint Center for Housing Studies said that the housing market could lead the way to the economic recovery. Now, we've already seen over and over how the housing market has been one of the last pillars to go in a recession or in the Great Recession. Housing was the last thing to go. And oftentimes, housing is one of the leaders, subject to, and I'll always say this, and this is my opinion, this is not from the article, that's subject to employment figures, right? No job, no mortgage payment, no mortgage payment. Well, that makes up for a lot of properties that people can or cannot buy. So the Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies, they are saying that the housing market is looking strong, home builder confidence is looking strong, and that they believe that the housing market could lead the way in the post-COVID-19 economic recovery. That conclusion got a possible boost Tuesday when the National Association of Home Builders released its latest study on home builder confidence. The builder confidence in the market for newly built single-family homes soared 21 points to 58 in June. 21 points to 58. I mean, that almost doubled according to the National Association of Home Builders and the Wells Fargo Housing Market Index, the HMI. Any reading above 50 indicates a positive market. So we went from a very negative market to a very positive, or I should say a significantly positive market. And so a quote in the article goes, as the nation reopens, housing is well positioned to lead the economy forward, with the National Association of Home Builders Chair Dean Mon saying that inventory is tight. National Association Chief Economist says the same thing. Inventory is tight, mortgage applications are increasing, interest rates are low, very low. 15-year rates are in the twos, ladies and gentlemen. If you qualify for a mortgage, I'm going to suggest that you run, not walk, run to your mortgage broker. And if you have any questions, any doubts, take me up on that strategy session. Now go to my website, Automatic Landlord, or go to our Facebook page and book a free appointment right there. You can schedule it on the time that's good for you. It's a time that are available there are good for me, and we'll have a confidential, no cost, no obligation conversation about whether this is the right time for you. Where are you on the real estate ladder? So inventory is tight, supply tight, mortgage applications increasing, interest rates are low, and confidence, more important, confidence is rising. Confidence across the board too. The number of calls, the inquiries I'm getting on rental properties, very high. The inquiries we're getting on properties for sale, even higher. So I'm going to tell you that don't miss out on the bandwagon here, because the saddest thing that I always hear is when someone tells me, boy, if I'd only known then on June 17th, 2020, what I know now, fast forward a year from now, I would have blah, 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 and there's nothing you can do. You cannot buy time backwards. You can only take action and reap the rewards going forwards. So according to the Harvard analysis, the housing industry has often led the way out of the recessions, the 2008 crisis excepted, right? Because recessions lead to interest rate drops that lower borrowing costs for both home buyers and builders, these low costs in turn spur home building and the many related durable consumer goods industries that drive GDP growth. And the housing market does seem to be on an upswing. We're seeing it everywhere. We've been reporting it here on the Real Estate Show, and that's what the Wednesday midweek report is about. Now you've got the goods, you've got the numbers, you got the statistics, you've got all of the information and verified and even confirmed in many different points. I'm telling you that it's not that I'm not saying that there's going to be some foreclosure opportunity. I am preparing some of my listeners, some of my investors for that window of opportunity, which I think is going to swing open, especially when all the moratoriums end. But I think there's enough demand out there in the marketplace that window of opportunity will be open for a short period of time, and it will swing shut again. And so if you're not poised and ready, you're going to miss the boat. So again, take me up on that opportunity. You can call me toll free at 888-595-7779. That's 595-7779, or just remember, automaticlandlord.com. Well, that's it for today's show. We want to thank you for listening. Remember, if you're on our Facebook page, to share that, that article there. Like us, follow the page, and we'll see you again, same place, same time tomorrow. Until then, drive safe and make it a great day.